This is what happens when your reputation precedes you. I rebuilt a Jaguar IRS for a friend, and he was obviously pleased with what I did, so he has recommended me, and this has now been presented to me for another rebuild. However, that's not where we're going on this video. Let me spin you around. We're going to do the one that's a little more interesting, shall we say. This pile of bits here. I'm going to rebuild for this customer. Time, fortunately, is not of the essence. And in fact, there will be a number of things I will need to discuss with him. And he watches my channel, so he'll see this. You know, minor detail like there are no rotors. There is, I think, a brake caliper there. We probably need to buy some new brake pads. In fact, I might even have a set of those that I can sell him, which I've put out on eBay. So that could grab me a few bucks and save him quite a few bucks. I'm not going to go into the internals of these. I mean, I will take the covers off. I will reseal them, but I will not put oil back in them. And I will make my customer aware of that because I don't want him to drive it with no oil in it. But I know he wants to do painting himself, which is fine, absolutely fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So those are some of the components. The rest of the parts, well, there are some parts in here, nice chromy parts, and they actually belong to that axle over there. That's the second job. The first job is going to be the piece one, unless my customer jumps and says, no, I want to do the other one first. These are the half shafts. As you can see, everything is in a dirty, disgusting state. And there are dents and bends and doinks and yeah, well, and I'll straighten those out the best I can. But as I said, he wants to paint them himself, so I will merely clean it up and leave him to decide how he wants to deal with it. I will be replacing, you know, once done, then it's forgotten. I'm going to replace all the U-joints. I don't know how good or bad they are. They feel a little floppy to me, so I'm not going to risk it because it's my reputation here. You know, he drives it down the road and the U-joint collapses. He says, oh, well, you built a piece of shit. Well, no, I didn't change the U-joint because I wanted to save you $1 or $2. That's not the way I function. And if the customer doesn't want to go for the expense of that, then that's their risk, not mine. But there is a shitload here that I need to deal with that is rusty, and it's going to be a long project. Not quite sure how I'm going to price this one yet. That will be interesting, to say the least. I will go over it for the next couple of days, figure out how long I think each thing is going to take me, give the guy a number, and as long as he agrees, then we move forward. If he doesn't agree, then he comes and picks up his stuff, and we say thank you and goodbye. I don't do, this is going to cost you $50, and then, oh, by the way, when you picked it up, it's $3,000. I don't do that shit. That's not the way I work. I'll give you a price, and if it takes me 10 minutes or 10 hours, that's my price for that job. So that's the way I work. Hopefully that's what these people like. They know what it's going to cost them when they come to pick it up, and I know what I'm going to get. The only other caveat I throw in is I don't know what the parts are going to cost, so you buy the parts. I'll tell you what to buy. You buy them. That way, everybody's clear. Alles klar, as my German friends would say. All right, let's get on to cleaning some shit up, getting some stuff organized. I've got to clear out some space here in my garage because it's getting too damn messy and I need to organize myself better before I start these projects. So let's get organized. Alrighty, here's the next project. Those of you that know Jaguars will recognize this immediately as a Jaguar IRS, independent rear suspension. The customer wants me to rebuild these, but I don't do inside there. I don't mess with that stuff. I don't have the right tools, so I'm going to do everything else. I will take the cover off and clean it out in there for him, but I will not be adjusting anything or doing stuff like that. This is how it arrived, in pieces, which I guess saves me having to take it apart. But the challenge I have, this is going in a hot rod, is that I have no clue what it's out of, whether it's out of an E-type, whether it's out of a Mark 10, whether it's out of an XJ6, whether it's out of an S-type, whether it's out of a 420, who knows? So that's part of the challenge, is trying to source parts and make sure I get the right parts. Now I do see there is a little tag here. I'll get that a clean up. And he wants to work on these shields himself, or at least that's what he said initially. I think maybe now he's changing his mind, and we may need to powder coat those for him, and probably powder coat these flanges. Maybe not sure about that yet. And this will be painted. I can't powder coat this. This is just way too fucking heavy to powder coat for me. Maybe a bigger shop could do it, but I can't. I'm just, you know, a guy doing it at home. I'll clean these and powder coat these. Not sure about these H's, whether or not I'll powder coat those or paint them. You can see the collection of stuff that I got, which is pretty bad. So one of my initial tasks will be to take all of these, give them a damn good pressure wash, then separate these and blast these in my sand blaster. Hopefully nothing's too badly damaged. You can see that these shims, you know, they've had it. They're of no use to man nor beast. And as I'll be putting new calipers on anyway, I'll just have to get a shitload of shims and put them on. Why does my phone always do that when I'm recording? So that's one, and then the other one is this one here. This is another hot rod one, and as you can see, it's kind of hot rodded already. And in true Jaguar fashion, the bugger's leaking on my floor. Nice one, Jag. Anyway, these radius arms have to come off the shocks and springs. It has to come out of the cage. I'm not sure what he's going to do about the cage, whether he wants to put that in something else, but I mean, if he's going to reuse it, then off to Section 8 and get it powder coated there, because that's way too big for me to do. One thing I did notice, these tyres, they look really nice, and they've obviously not been driven much because of this label. But I was looking at that one over there yesterday, and I noticed there were some cracks in it. So I'm not sure how old these tyres are. Where I see, look, there's a little crack in there. Another one in there. Now, I'm not sure if that's because somebody tried to do a burnout or something, but I mean, these, I mean, they're hardly worn at all. Oh, what's that? Oh, just a little stone. So, yeah, be interesting to see. As I said, I don't know how old these are. I know there is a way to tell, but don't ask me how. I don't know. I'd have to speak to my friend Bob, and he'd be able to say, ah, yes, it's a blah, blah, blah. However, so there we are. That's the next one. I'll probably do a video on that as well, just to really bore you, but initially this is the one we're going to do. We're going to start cleaning things. I'm not going to work on this with it dirty. Will you shut up? Thank you. So, I've got to get all these bushes out. They've all got to be replaced. They're in terrible state. There should be another shaft somewhere, I think. Ah yes, here we are. Got given a selection of shafts. Nothing like having a good old selection of shafts. So yeah, that one's for there, and I believe these for the shock absorbers. Yeah, that's what they are for. Yes, they go into there. I believe that's where they go. Yes, and these, I think, yes, they are for there. So good. I do have all the, well, not all the parts, but I do have the important parts. A bunch load of shims that really have seen better days, but we'll see if we can clean those up. Chuck them in the blaster. The only reason I'll need these is for setting the distance on the rotor. These I hope clean up because these bolts are pretty special. Blasting again, I think. Damn and blast it all. I've got a lot of blasting to do and it's hot here now, so that's not going to be so much fun, is it, kids? So I'm just trying to get the angle of the dangle there. All right, we're ready for some fun. Let's see. I'm going to see what that tag tells me first of all. That's just out of curiosity, and then I got to clean these buggers. So I got to get some gas for my pressure washer and give these things a good old blasting. Won't that be fun? Yeah, maybe I'll get some nozzles as well. Alright, time to move on. Just wanted to show you this. As you can see, that rising away there, those bubbles. This is that rust converter I use, which really isn't meant for rust converting, but it does an excellent job. You can see the way that is just eating that rust. That's great. For those of you that don't know, let me take you for a quick walk to show you the product, which you get from Home Depot. You can probably get it from Lowe's as well, and I've used it a lot. Concrete and metal prep, that's the stuff. Helps paint stick and it converts rust. So, just in case you're interested, now let's get on with that piece of shit. That's not true. I'm going to make it nice. Got to get those covers off of there. I've got some things soaking in degreaser, so hopefully that will assist. One other thing, and I'll mention it, but what I've decided to do is, you see where this is so caked with shit and grease and crap. I was just going to pressure wash it, but I'm going to try and scrape most of it off and just leave it on this cardboard. That's going to be a lot easier and a lot less hassle and making mess in my yard. So we'll get into that. Oh, that looks bad. Looks like maybe the bearing seized on that. That shouldn't be out there. All right. In this video, I'm going to show things that, if you're a great Jaguar person on the IRS, you're going to find boring. And for that, I do apologize. But for those of you that are not familiar with the IRS, and I don't mean Inland Revenue Service, nobody wants to be familiar with them. There are various things that you need to note. Now this particular bolt here, which holds the come on, shock absorber. Jeez, brain cell died there. It has a special little washer, and it has a special bolt. Why does it have a special bolt, you may well ask? Well, I will show you. So you unscrew the bolt. It's loose. You can't get it past that, but it's a special bolt. Give it a little turn, and excluding the washer, out she comes. That bolt has been machined so that it slides out past that particular joint without any issue. So whatever you do, make sure you don't lose those bolts because they're special. Now, okay, you could probably make your own, but why go to all that trouble? Not quite sure why they put a plain washer on there, but there you go. One final bit that I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, but if I did, tough shit, I'm going to mention it again. These nylocks, I refuse to reuse them. Yes, you can do that with Loctite and they'll work, but that's not the way I roll. So I spoke to the guy that I'm doing this for, and he said, nope, absolutely. Done right, done once, that's it. And I said I would not use these either. They're used, they're probably okay, but I will not put those in. That's just wrong. The only thing I will reuse are these locking washers for the shock absorber bolt. Why would I reuse those and nothing else? Well, because there are more than one flange that you can use, and I will make sure, once I've blasted these and made them nice and purdy, that I use a flange that has not been used before and bent. That way I know the nut will not come undone. Although most of the things that I put together, I use blue Loctite. So there you go. All right, that is the final episode on this particular video. I guess we're going to say this is part one. There's going to be a lot more parts. I've got a lot more to do. Thank you, all my subscribers. Really appreciate it. There's something like 600 of you now, which is absolutely amazing. I can't believe 600 of you are interested in what I do, but I guess you are. Get out in that garage now. Do the like, comment, subscribe, and do some shit. This one is gonna be posted.